it's Lee from coloringqueen.net, and today I've got Spirit Animals, which is the English imprint of Hanna Karlzon's previous book, which I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of. This might also be called Soulmates, depending on which country you're buying it from. So there's lovely copper highlighting or foiling on the back of each book, which is reflecting in the sun. It's absolutely beautiful. The only difference is that text is in English in the English imprint and in Swedish in the Swedish version. Lovely black binding and gold tooling on the cover. Now, Spirit Animals has more of a copper foiling and the Swedish edition has more of a gold. And that's the same on the covers as well. Just slightly more coppery on the English edition than it is on the Swedish. The title page is the same, except for the text. And the initial pages are the same, except for the text. So these initial pages might be great to test out your mediums on. We've got our lovely nameplate page here. And this book is different from Hanna's previous books in that it's based on a constant theme of a beautiful woman or girl with the spirit animal or companion that she has a connection with. So we've got, starting off with this beautiful girl with her lovely crystal headdress and then her spirit animal. And you can see that the bows are the same and they reflect, as well as the fluffiness of the fur and the mushrooms in the headdress and the scene. So there's a real theme to the actual page. Then we've got our lovely feathered lady with, I think it's a goose here. And you can see how they've incorporated the jewels from her headdress, and we've got a headdress over here as well. It's very pretty, lovely little circle ones. Now this is my second time doing the video. I accidentally deleted it, but on the first one I really liked this picture of the witch, and I really think it's going to be great for Halloween, especially with all the magic potions over here. And then we've got our gorgeous mermaid style lady, and she's got a necklace made up of crab claw type things, each holding a little crystal, and she's got sort of like mermaid scale earrings, and the crab, I think it is, over here, he's holding the crystal. So you can see not only the connection between them, but also the connection in the elements between them. And here we've got our two gorgeous ladies. She's not afraid to draw people with physical imperfections like a humped nose or whatnot. They're still beautiful. And we've got the lovely different poses here, as well as the day versus night scene. Now, I'm sure many of these illustrations we've seen something similar, if not the same, in previous books. And these two remind me of previous illustrations that we've seen, the sort of robotic look. We've got the spider in her headdress and then the spider over there, made up of like electronic parts or robotics. And then we've got our gorgeous birds, and they're holding the little charm. And over here we have the bird running away with the charm, and it says not lost but gone before. So lots of beautiful beads and whatnot to colour there. And again, we've seen these fish and these sorts of scenes in Hanna's previous books, but the way they're put together in this book seems to make a lot of sense, at least to me. And she is riding her spirit animal in this one. So then we've got our gorgeous crowns and our old-fashioned scene over here. Beautiful flowers and lovely little hummingbirds with the same flowers on the other page. And what I like about this one, more so than perhaps the other books, is the great variety. We have like quite realistic people if you're feeling in that mood, and fluffy animals and crystals and whatnot. But we also have some more, not cartoony, but more simpler drawings if you're in a different sort of mood. And so here we have the beautiful wings on our dragonfly, and they're over here as well as on her headdress. I love the sort of cuteness of this picture. It's not as realistic as the other ones, but it's really cute with the magician and the dove coming out of the top hat. Now this one does run across both sides of the page, and at the moment it's really not laying down that flat, but with time I'm sure it will. So this one, the octopus is caught up in the actual picture, so it's not a separate page but the same theme running across both. And now we have our lion lady with her beautiful mane of hair, and then the lion over here. Now her hair does run into the spine, and it's not the full mane, it's cut off by the stitching. We've got our cute little Winter Wonderland Palace and our Emperor Penguins and our beautiful fairy princess. And again, this one is sort of more simple and less realistic than the other ones, but I really like that there's so much variety and different ones to look at. We've got our lady hiding here amongst the flowers, and same sort of scene reflected over here. Beautiful peacock lady with a beautiful peacock headdress, and then the peacock just on its own. So the line art is in a dull black, and the paper is the same as in the Swedish edition. The US publishers go to great lengths in order to ensure that off-white and paper quality is the same. And of course the English edition, if you're not living in Sweden, is a lot cheaper. I like this one where she's just got the scarf on and nothing else, and then we've got the holly over here, or the berries, reflected again. Now this is one of my favourites. It's the ladybirds. We've got ladybirds here and over here, and then just tucked away in the corner we've got the young princess or crowned girl. Now we've got our owl lady, and she's even got feathers coming out of her eyes. Her eyelashes are that long that they've become feathered. And we've got the owl there, and it's got a jewel, and over here it's got a beautiful jewel as well. And then this one we get to do some great metals. We've got a sword, and the horse has got a fantastic headdress on. I really see that in metal. And then it's got beading at the end of each braid. So completely different one from what we've previously seen. And I like that there's all different things to colour, different styles. Now to me this is Alice in Wonderland and the White Rabbit. And I don't care if anyone tells me different. To me it's going to be Alice and the Rabbit. And then we've got the gorgeous snakes, and I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 snakes. And rather than going with the Medusa look, she's put the snakes up here and made a snake choker, which I think is quite interesting. And I actually like these snakes a lot more than other snakes that I've seen in colouring books. And then we've got this one where it does run both sides. It's getting a bit easier to fold the book down, and it's very beautiful, this picture, I think, with all the jewels and the birds, and it just sort of reminds you of love with those roses and whatnot. Then we've got all the little candles between the ears here, and she's got candles. Now, a lot of the elements are cut off, they're not full to the picture, which usually annoys me, but for some reason it seems to work with this picture. And we've seen something similar to this in previous books. I've got to say I'm not really a fan. I'm a bit more traditional. I like my art a bit more fairy princessy, but you know, it would be good to explore some techniques on how to do the tattoos and the buzz haircut and whatnot. So I won't say never on that picture, but this one's more my style. And we've got our guy over here and our lady, so they could feel a connection. And the animals as well, with their little matching bows and the matching fungi and houses. So really nicely put together spread, that one. And now we've got our mermaid lady with fish intertwined between her hair, and then a close-up of the fish. And this is one of my favourites, the mice with the sweets, or lollies or candies, depending on which country you're from. And see this one, he's eating one of those bracelets we used to have, that these were all made of sweets, and you'd eat the bracelet. You'd eat the little beads off because they were all candy. I'd love this as a hairstyle with all little lollies in your hair. But they'd probably melt in the weather. And then I'd get a head full of ants instead. And again, this one is, she's got the dog collar on and the chains and the third eye and the scales beneath her eyes. I think that'd be fun to colour, to try new techniques. But I really do prefer the more cutesy pictures. And then we've got our lovely rooster here, and we've got our gorgeous lady. Now, I did think this was a dragon, but now I'm not so sure because it's got two eyes, but it's beautiful no matter what. Some sort of monster, perhaps, but it's got the sword, and that makes me think he's going to slay the dragon. And he's also got some wings as well, so it's a more even fight, I guess. And we've got our pirate girl and compass. And this is another favourite, except for the illustrations running up into the spine, that it really does need to be pushed on to press that down. We've got our crystal flowers and our beautiful bees. And then we've got our gorgeous lady, and she's got these lovely little wings and things coming out of her mouth, and it's just really different. And some lovely bottles, as well as our phoenix. So the thing I like about this book, as well as the theme, is I just think there's so much variety. Like, depending on what mood you're in, there's so many different things that you could colour, like flowers or animals or something more modern, or things to practice techniques on, like the feathers on the budgerigars or the leaves on the palms. It just seems like there's way more variety, like metals, feathers, skin tones. And because it's basically all faces, there's not a huge amount of skin tone to do. Then we've got our seahorses and our lovely lady over here. And our steampunk. And again, these pictures all look really similar and familiar, and I think I'll have to try and dig out all the rest of my Hanna books and just check to see if I've seen them somewhere before. We've got our unicorn, and then we've got the cute little tiny rainbow down here at the bottom. So lots of crystals and metals, beads, different sorts of sea animals, hair, so many different types of things to colour in. A great one if you're learning new techniques or if you already know them, I think. So just here we've got skin tones, we've got crystals, we've got metals, we've got beads, we've got fur, we've got bows, we've got flowers, crystals, all sorts of things to colour in on this picture. And isn't it gorgeous? My little kitty is asleep at the moment, so it's not her. And then we end. And of course the normal black protective paper there at the end. So as usual, the links to buy it are below the video. Until next time, happy colouring.